Welcome to Plays and Parlays. I am your host, Wesley, along with my co-host, Mike Pease, and the guru, Louisiana T. We're going to talk to you guys about the 2012 OKC Thunder versus the 2025 version of these guys. Me personally, I'm a 2012 guy. I'm going to start this off just like that. I'm not going to, you got young KD, you got young Russell Westbrook, you got James Harden, the young version. I think you might have had Perkins back then, Serge. I mean, you got some ballers on that team right there. That's a solid squad right there if you look at them.
Mm-hmm.
However, I understand we got Shea. We got the Williams guys over there. We got Chet. We got, they got ballers over here on this end too. You know what I mean? Let me go ahead and start this one off with you, Mike. Since this is a subject that's near and dear to your heart, go ahead and let me know what you're thinking about these two clashes of these two titans, pretty much right here.
So I basically got two parts that I would say about it, right? My favorite, like my personal favorite, is of course the 2012 Thunder. You know what I mean? They're definitely it's more memorable highlights. They're freak athletes. Them boys was freak athletes, dogs, doing their thing. You know what I'm saying? Like
absolutely.
They're people that you can remember. You know what I mean? And always we looked up to them. You know what I mean? My people was looking up to them all the time. You know what I mean? Russell was a dog. You know what I mean? James Harden wasn't all the way where he was established, but he was still a dog. KD's been a dog. KD's been a dog. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like overall, just the freak athleticism. I'm gonna choose them as my favorite. But if play style, I'm gonna say 2025. Okay. They're more fundamentally better. They're better as a team and chemistry and everything. I feel like this team can go a long way, even in the long run. Even if they don't win the finals this year, they can come back and do it again. Yeah. You know what I mean? I feel like they're mentally strong.
Young, they're average 24 years old. Good.
Their chemistry is just outrageous to me. You know what I mean? It's cool. You know what I mean? It's smooth. And if Chet keeps doing what he's doing too, like that whole squad right there would be nasty. You know what I mean? For a good long run before any trades or any, you know what I mean, anything like that happen of that sort of nature. You know what I'm saying? But I would say my favorite is 2012, but best play style to me is 2025. You know what I mean?
So you think they could beat those guys? What you're saying? 2025 could beat 2012?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Fundamentally better.
Louisiana.
Chet's not even 100%. Chet's not even 100%, man. Like I'm sorry. Listen. Here's the thing to me, right? 2025, way better fundamentals. I agree with Mike to a T on that one, man. I think fundamentally it is way different. I feel like defensively they're better. They space the ball better. But there's one thing that I'm going to bring up about the 2012. Okay, they were a young squad, right? Mm-hmm. Leadership matters when you're talking about basketball and who's the general on the court and all that stuff, right? And the locker room leader. They had Derek Fisher on that squad. And that was his 15th season. Okay, you're talking about a very seasoned Derek Fisher at that point, right? Eric Maynard was on the team. Then you're looking at what? They had James Harden, young, right? Nick Collison coming off the bench. I mean, you had a squad there, right? But you had real leadership. I think they'd keep it close just based off of that because they could stay calm, right? They could weather storms very well, and that's why they were so good back then. Is because they could go on these runs. So, and whenever another team would go on a run, they could answer because they had the leadership to do that, right? They weren't getting down on themselves, and you could see that. These teams today, I'm telling you, 25 beats them still, though. They're fundamentally better. They're faster, and like I said, that's not even 100%.
And we haven't brought up Hartenstein either. He's a baller. I like him a lot. You know what I mean? Wait a minute. Wait. Let me rewind this right here, man. Are we really going to disrespect? I know you guys have said some good things about 2012. Are we really going to say that a young KD, to me, is way better than Shea? To me, he's better than Shea. Shea's going to do his thing regardless. You give me a young Russell. Who you got that you can compare to that to? Who you got that can compare to a young Russ? Both of those two are MVPs. Both of them. I'm not sure. I don't think that Harden never won MVP. I don't think he has. Mm-hmm. However,
he
has Harden won MVP?
But it was with the Rockets, though. It wasn't with him.
What I'm saying is, so all three of these guys, but we got to say the 2012 team. I can't say that the Harden that won but I'm saying these guys, that team was a young team, but full of young killers.
Right.
Period. Plain
but
and simple.
But it was before they really reached their peak, is how I look at it, right? Yeah. It's before these players really grew into their games.
Did he win MVP so it's that right year? Before. What year did he win MVP? It's like either that year, 13 or 14. One of those years he won MVP. It might not. I think LeBron might have won it that year or something like that. But he won it either the year after or something around that time. He was there.
2013, 14.
He was probably putting up damn near 30 points a game. So I mean, so at the end, he's not KD that we see now, but he's a younger version of the KD that we see now with more athleticism and everything else.
This is a killer. And that's why I say that too, though. You know what I mean? That's why I gave the both sides of it. You know, 2012 is going to be my favorite. You know what I mean? But if we're going to talk about them playing and all of that, there's a reason why KD left the Thunder. You know what I'm saying? There's a reason why KD left the Thunder.
It was Russ.
You know what I mean? So it's just like it's too much. It's when you have star players and freak athleticism like that, everybody wants to be the center of the attention for. I mean, they want everything to run through them. It's not going to work well. Just like what I said when KD and James Harden linked back up with Kyrie on the was it the Nets? You know what I mean? That was not going to work. It's not going to work out for people like this. Whereas you don't want to play a certain role that you're not used to. You know what I mean?
But let's not forget this same team was up 3-1 versus the 70-win Golden State Warriors. They were up 3-1. I don't believe that Shai Gilgeous-Alexander could have been up 3-1 versus them. I don't see that. I'm not saying they're not good, but I mean, you got him, and then you got Jalen Williams to me is just not like he's a good number 2, but he's not a solid number 2. He's not like, oh, for sure Jalen's going to come out and do this if this doesn't happen with Shai. That's not it. Chet, he's yet to prove to me he can stay on the court. He's just, I mean, we can say he's hurt, but when is he not hurt? Hurt his first whole year. Hurt all the time. Hurt this year a bunch. I mean, you hurt all the time, guys. So we may never see who you really are when it comes to, this right here. Hartenstein, he's solid. I'm going to give him his money. I mean, who else you got? I mean, you got a few other decent players, but are these guys good or are they just good on this team?
I feel like they're good. They're good with the
role players.
They run.
I feel like this team is meshed well, right? This team is made to be the
couple
team.
Of those guys
it's
are
not
out
like
of there,
that other team, right? 2012 is built to me to where you have basically kind of that old style offense, right? To where it was more, hey, look, let's separate, let's ISO, let's kind of play that type of role, right? These guys don't play like that with the new OKC team. The whole team touches the ball pretty much every possession. Like, it's crazy the offensive sets that they run. I think they're much more fundamentally sound. Like I said, I want the answer to be 2012, just so we're clear. Like, I loved that team. I loved watching them. They were fun to watch. I really think they would get beat by 2025.
I can't let this blasphemy fly. This blasphemy cannot fly for me. I just can't let it happen, man. I can't. You know what I mean? I know most times I'm the guy always who wants to talk about, the old guys are tripping, this, that, and the third. The new players are really who it is. But right now, man, I can't let this fly. I mean, I like the OKC, but I'm pretty much looking at who they had to play. This is pretty much the East of back in the day. The West is the East back in the day. Right now, I mean, they're in shambles. They're strong when it comes to when you look at the league as an overall league right now, but they didn't have killers like you had to face back in the day in the West. They just didn't have that. Not this year. Yeah. Denver was probably the best team that you're going to have to run up against, and that they would have had to go up against. That's pretty much it right there. I mean, I wouldn't even say the Warrior. I mean, the Wolverines were even. You know what I mean? Minnesota Timberwolves. I'm sorry, we're even that great of a team. They weren't even that great of a squad to me. They got blown out. This team has not proven to me that they're that team that we're all looking at. Yeah, they're that team versus the teams who were there, but to say that these guys would beat the 2012 OKC, it just doesn't make sense to me.
Minnesota ran that kind of offense though. That old school style offense is what they run over there. So that's more comparable than you think.
But but now listen, you got Ant. Ant is who? Sure. Maybe Ant is Russell. Mm-hmm. What with a better shot?
Sure.
Who's KD? I'll wait.
That's true.
Ain't nobody KD.
That's a good point.
You know what I mean? Like, nobody on that team is a young KD. KD now ain't the same KD that he was back then. You know what I mean? Sure. KD was a killer. But even when you go to the bench, Harden was a 6-man. He didn't start. He was 6-man. Mm-hmm. He's going to come off the bench. Who on that team is a 6-man like Harden? Back then, even. Harden putting up 16 points a game off the bench.
True.
You know what I mean? That's off the bench. I just don't they up front, you're tougher. You got Perkins. You got Ibaka. You're tougher. Yeah, I'm just not seeing it. That's just my personal opinion.
As far as size and everything and the physicality within with 2012, I'm not gonna say they're just gonna.
Chet can't guard.
2025 is gonna blow them out. I wouldn't say that. You know what I mean? I wouldn't say
that. Foul out. KD.
Chet
but fundamentally, 2012 is stronger.
Sure.
It's stronger in my opinion. Period. Point blank. The backcourt is going to be just, you know what I mean, monsters. You know what I'm saying? But as far as 2025, just fundamentally, it's better to me. You know what I'm saying? That's all I just got to say.
I understand. And they play a much more cohesive form of basketball. Yes. They do. You're right. They play a way more cohesive form of basketball. I mean, I get that. I'm not just trying to say that.
It's when you look at it like the best way I can say it, right, is with the Spurs. You know how I compared them to the Spurs. That's literally the best way I can compare it. Mm-hmm. There's not really, you don't have a bunch of just freak athletes on the Spurs. You have solid players that are playing their role and doing what they're supposed to do and having that fundamentals to be able to just be smooth. Who's the freak athletes that are on the Spurs? Who's freak athletes? When it was Tony Parker, Kawhi Leonard, Tim Duncan, and them, who's a freak athlete?
I mean, no, I'm gonna say like this. I mean, I look at Shea. Shea is an anomaly on that team. He's gonna put up 30. Sure. They have a bona fide star. We're not. Right. They're not just. I mean, even they had Tim back then, but as Tim got older, it was different. But they got a bona fide scorer, bona fide star, like someone we can be like, hey, who's the best player? It's not like a mishmash that you're. I mean, of course we always looked at Tim, but you looked at Tony, you looked at Ginobili too for that team. That team had even before Kawhi made it there, they had squad. You know what I mean, with those three guys. But Shea is by far, without him, it's the done deal. There's no, there's nothing you can do. They're not winning without Shea.
Every team I feel like would have that one person that's classified as that star. Tim Duncan was that star on the Spurs. He's the only person who really gets his flowers. You don't hear nothing else about nobody else on that team besides Tim Duncan. He's always gonna get his flowers. He was that man. You know what I'm saying?
He won championships.
It's kind of the same thing as far as the Thunder. It's Shea. Chet is going to be that person as time goes by, but he's not there all the way yet. You know what I'm saying? But what we seeing right now, that's the best way I can explain it is with the Spurs. The Spurs don't have that many freak athletes, but they know how to play ball. They know how to hoop. You know what I mean? And that led to them being able to win a championship and do these types of things. You know what I'm saying? I'll look at it. The 2012 Thunder is better than the Spurs with the freak athleticism, but fundamentally they're better. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. You know what I mean?
Look at this player, right? Alex Caruso. Okay, Alex Caruso. The dude literally is playing lights out right now, right? Mm-hmm. Was he doing that with the Lakers?
I mean, he played good. Me personally, I would have kept Caruso and I would have got rid of Taylor Horton Tucker. I would have got rid of him. TNT would have been out of here. There's no way I thought they should have got rid. He could shoot the ball. He played defense. He was good. He was solid. I mean, Caruso
on this team puts Caruso like 3 times higher on his skill level, I feel like, because now he can actually play his role. Like look at him over him in Chicago. He did his thing in Chicago.
Mm-hmm. Each team that he's left.
The only reason they got rid of dude is because TNT, I believe, was signed to or THT was signed to LeBron's management company. I believe that's why they got him his money and kept him there. He should have been out of there. There's no way they should have kept him. To me, he's a bum. That's how I felt about it. He's not. I like Caruso. Caruso always had heart, always could ball, and he's athletic. Yeah, and did you see what he did versus Jokic? When they put him on Jokic, come on, man. I think Caruso's 6'5".
That's what I'm saying, though, man. Caruso is coming out and doing this and really kind of making a name for himself this year. If I'm being honest, more than he already was. Like,
who is he guarding? Who is he guarding on that team, though? Who's he guarding? Who's he stopping? Maybe
nobody thought he could guard Jokic either.
Jokic is slow as dirt. That's different. You're not guarding KD. You're not guarding Russell. Russell's gonna shake you up easy to the hole. He's jamming.
I wouldn't. Yeah, that's gonna be one of those two.
You better put him on Harden or somebody. You better six-man him. Put him on Harden. Hopefully Harden sits in front of him, dances around like this, and does what the Harden normally does. But other than that, I mean, I don't. So that's just my personal opinion. I don't see it. They got too many killers. They don't have enough killers. Either one of these guys will put up 40 for you.
Yeah.
Either one. On the same night, they might put up 40 for you. You're not getting that from OKC. I just don't see it. And with that, that's plays and parlays. And thank you guys for joining us. We'll be back again soon.